All right, hey guys, welcome back to R&B Reviews. My name is Ridwan. This is Brinder. Today we're going to be talking about Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe. If you guys prefer an audio format for the podcast, you can look in the description below. We have a couple links to Spotify, Apple Music, and Google. But we're about to get into the show and we're going to talk about, Phase 4. We'll let Brinder kick it off.
All right, so what's upcoming is a few movies we got, two TV shows, no, three TV shows for this year. Just a lot of good things coming out. We already finished just Black Widow just recently. I think the latest thing that's specifically announced is Shang-Chi in September. I'm kind of looking forward to it. We got the Canadian Chinese actor, so I'm trying to root for him, see how that's going. But beyond that, Spider-Man is another good one. Is there anything specific you're looking forward to?
Honestly, Shang-Chi is one that I was like really looking forward to because of the trailers. I actually watched the trailers for that one because I didn't know what it was going to be about. And then out of everyone, I would say like that's the only one I'm really looking forward to.
That's the only one, not even Spider-Man?
Like Spider-Man, like kind of, but not like really. I'm not excited to see it. Maybe because I've seen like one too many Spider-Man movies, but I don't feel like that same excitement. Which kind of brings me to my next question of like, I feel like question/statement is I feel like it's going to be a clutch moment now for them to kind of bring on that same energy for like Phase 4 as they did for like the previous movies where every movie was like, oh my God, like this is happening because everything was happening for the first time.
Yeah.
And then now it's just like we've seen it. So like, how are you going to make me interested again in like the Marvel Universe?
I think it's going to be harder, much harder because when Phase like 1, 2, 3 came out, like we didn't know this was like a connecting piece to like maybe later end of Phase 2 and like Phase 3. We didn't know this connected all together. It was just like bits and pieces here and there, and we just liked the character themselves and the story itself. This one we know like shit connects together.
Yeah.
And we always look for how does it connect and what does this mean for the whole of the MCU. Even little things like shows like Loki and stuff. We're like, what is the implications of this show towards the MCU?
Yeah.
So they know that everything's just harder on them.
I feel like it's kind of like how we just discussed like Fast and Furious and how like they had like 9 movies and then like at the end they're like whatever. Like F it. I feel like they're gonna be in the same position that Fast and Furious is in terms of you've already done it so many times. Like how can you make it different? How can you make it interesting? Like how can you make like another villain like Thanos
meaningful?
Yeah,
right?
Like especially with Thanos. Like Thanos was hard to top. Like because they did such a good job with him as a villain that I can't imagine like another villain being half as interesting.
So there's going to be spoilers for this episode. Of course, we're going to talk about what's happened already. So the latest one is Black Widow and beyond. Like that's already out there. So that's going to be spoilers on those topics. And anything we discuss going forward will be either trailers or our thoughts on what could happen, right? Or what's already out there on like news media. So it's not specifically spoilers, but it could be then on. So if you don't like that stuff, just you can maybe like fast forward or something like that. But in terms of meaningful things, Loki showed us that Kang has scripted everything up until a certain point, like a convenient point. But like a lot of people are saying, everything that the Avengers did, even though it was like very meaningful for us to watch, like high stakes and everything, it was all scripted. So like it was all planned pretty much. So it's like, all right, like everything going forward, does it mean anything? Like, does it, besides you liking the character, does it matter? Because MCU is gonna be around.
I looked at it as it was allowed to happen. Like Kang is like, you know what? I'm gonna let that slide, but I won't let this slide. So I don't really look at it as he scripted it to happen. I look at it more as he allowed it to happen, or he didn't intervene. But that I don't know. That's how I look at that. Like the Loki and Kang situation don't take away my like view of it. I wonder if Kang is gonna. You think Kang is gonna be like the main villain, like the next Thanos?
No, he can't be, because that's like saying Thanos was like shown Phase 1. This is Phase 4 is Phase 1 pretty much.
Okay.
Right. I don't think we're gonna see like the big bad until like Phase
6
7,
something
8,
like that.
Something like that. I think they're gonna push it further.
Okay.
Than they did for Thanos, and we're looking for the big bad, and I think it was rumored to be Galactus. I'm not sure if it still is, but it was just like rumors. But Kang is definitely a big guy, and he does like the timeline type of deals. So I don't think it can be him because it's just like they just announced him, right?
Yeah.
Like he'll be a villain for sure, but I don't think he's Thanos level.
He seems like he could be Thanos level. Like he seems like an interesting enough villain, but I understand where you're coming from. Like he like it's just too early. Like and he hasn't been hinted out in like the other movies for it to be.
And they have to make it like they can't just go from like Thanos down to like a nobody. They have to make it like a steady like it doesn't have to be Thanos level, but it has to be like a certain
Yeah.
regular flow rather than Thanos and then terrible and then like Galactus. You have to make it a little bit of a better flow. I have a little what's called picture in front of me talking about what's upcoming. So we have Shang-Chi in September. Fall is Miss Marvel. That's with Camilla Khan, the teenager, the Muslim teenager who is like has the stretchy abilities.
Yeah.
Like that she was in the Marvel game, the Avengers game. Uh, what if it has already started? Eternals.
What if started?
What if it's already started? Yeah.
Like the episodes have already came out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've already come out. That was summer 2021, which is now.
I thought they haven't. I thought I seen a trailer. I didn't know they came. This is news to me.
I think they're on episode 2.
It looks mad interesting.
Episode 2 or 3.
You haven't watched the episode
I
yet?
haven't watched the episode. I think I'm gonna let it build, but it's not like significant in terms of like it doesn't connect to the MCU. But I'm gonna watch it. It's an animated series.
What? Anyways, I will hear the rest. I actually did not know it came out because I was like, it looks like it's gonna be something that's super sick and like super nice to watch.
Okay, well, moving on. Eternals. That's gonna be November of this year. We have Hawkeye, which was late 2021, and that's something that connects with Black Widow. So that's dope. That's gonna be a TV series. Spider-Man No Way Home, December. And that pretty much wraps up 2021, and then we can talk about 2022 later.
What if comes out August 11th? So
it's
a few days.
Not out. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. So yeah, 3 days. Eternals. That's like a big one that I'm looking forward to. The cast is like heavy hitters. Like they got like big name people for the cast. The storyline is really sick to me, and I feel like they can introduce a lot of things in that movie.
The Eternals is the one that they're like kind of like in a sense like gods, right?
Pretty in a sense. Like,
okay, I seen a little bit of the trailer for that one.
They're like the ancestors of Thanos.
I liked it because it was like actually like a diverse cast.
It's very diverse.
It's super diverse. I don't know what it was, but like watching that, I was like, you know what? I think it's gonna be lit.
And they're like all big names from like different things that like all have done well for themselves.
I feel like it's gonna be good. I still think it's gonna be a little bit of one of those like Inception type, like not Inception, but like weird, like in a sense. Like I think the story is gonna be good, but I still think it's gonna be more so for like the deep movie watchers, not for like your regular like movie watcher.
100%. And there's a lot of questions like if these guys were on Earth, like why were they not helping ever? Like where were they the whole time? Those are pretty much what's coming up for 2021. I'm surprised you said Shang-Chi is what you're looking forward to out of all of them.
Even after like you saying the names like Shang-Chi, maybe What If. I was really interested in What If. And I think that'll be good.
Spider-Man?
Like I'm not excited to watch Spider-Man. It's maybe because I know like the Spider-Man movie, like, and
Spider-Man's your favorite character too, is he not?
He's my favorite character, but in the movies, like it's kind of like I seen it all. Like I don't know, they're just not that super creative with like the Spider-Man character.
With Tom Holland as Spider-Man, I think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man.
I think he's good. Like don't get me wrong, like I think he's good, but like I don't know. There's just something about that Spider-Man aspect that like doesn't make me like really care anymore. But you know which one I really like? I like the anime that. I think it was Spider-Man. Was it Coming Home? No, that's the Marvel one. What's the one that was like super anime? What was the name of that one?
Are you talking about Into the Spider-Verse?
Into the Spider-Verse. Like that one was like really good and I was excited. But like the Tom Holland ones, like the new ones coming out, like I don't know. I don't know what they could do for me to be like, oh my god, like this. I've never seen this before.
I think I just really like the actor. He plays it really well. I like the previous 2 movies. I thought they were all hits. And then there was like a lot of rumors, especially when Endgame came out, like Tony Stark getting smoked. Like who's the next Tony Stark?
Yeah.
That was actually one of my questions too. I couldn't save it.
Oh yeah.
So who's the next Tony Stark? And I was like, a lot of people were lobbying for him because he's like a genius. He was trained by Tony pretty much. Like he's his like student. So like, does he become the master? Who knows? I don't know. It seems like cool. I didn't watch any trailers, but I think it goes for me at least is Eternals, Spider Man, Shang Chi, Miss Marvel, then Hawkeye. And Hawkeye is really good.
Did they have trailers for Hawkeye at all? I don't think so.
They had little clips here and there. I think I think what I saw was just him like suiting up.
Yeah, it's so Shang-Chi for me.
Shang-Chi.
Maybe I have to see
Is it
the
only because you watched the trailers?
I think it's because I watched the trailers, but like it looks exciting. Like, but I've already watched like Spider-Man. Like I've seen like all the movies, so I just don't know what they could do for like. And I like the last one, but I just don't know what they could do for the next one. That's really cool. And he's still in high school. Like I'm waiting for him to progress to like the college university stage. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
I think he's just gonna be graduating this one.
So he's still gonna be like in high school.
He had homecoming last one. So what is homecoming like? Your sophomore? No, your
they have
junior
homecoming every like year. That's just like.
What year are you in
homecoming? I think
sophomore or junior. So I think he's gonna be graduating
in his last year.
Yeah.
He skipped the year because of the blip. Him and all of his classmates got blipped together. Crazy coincidences.
That's pretty much like 2021 in a nutshell. And then going forward for 2022, we have Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is gonna be Heat. May 6th, Thor: Love and Thunder, and all these are subject to change. Like Marvel wants.
Okay, I'm looking at Thor. Thor seems good.
Thor: Love and Thunder. July 8th, we got Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. November 11th, the Marvels, and Moon Knight. That's the TV series next year. A lot of people really like Moon Knight. I didn't really know about Moon Knight until like he was announced.
You know what it is? It's like because his comic book character is like always with like Spider-Man. Moon Knight kind of has like an essence of like Batman. Like he's rich. He's like a superhero at nighttime. He's kind of like moody. He's not like really like a super friendly. So he's technically like a Batman. In the comics, his character was okay, but his like whenever I read about him, he was mostly like a side character. He did have his own comics, but I never was like, yo, let me read like his comics. But he did have like a cool essence about him. So I feel like he will be like a Batman in the Marvel universe. They don't have anything about the X-Men on there?
Nothing about the X-Men that's confirmed. We have for 2023 we have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is crazy because Loki was just came out June or July, June 11th. So that we know connects to Ant-Man just because of the casting of Kang. And that's in 2023, so that's far away.
Long.
She-Hulk is 2022. That's another TV series.
And they don't have any other TV series. Like, do they say the timeline for the TV series in there?
What do you mean timeline?
Like, do they say if the TV series is gonna come out in like September, or are we going like movie, TV series in between?
Like if it's a TV series, it just gives you the year, and I assume it's gonna be late year. So like Moon Knight is 2022, She-Hulk is 2022.
That's crazy.
The Blade movie is 2023, and then Guardians of the Galaxy is Volume 3 is May 5th, 2023. So that's what's been announced going forward.
I think didn't Supreme Dreams talks about the Blades like Blade mad in one of his. Are you sure it's not Blade? Blade kills vampires, no?
He kills vampires. I don't know. I haven't seen that video.
Supreme Dreams always talks about Blade. So I feel like they're gonna, and they always talk about how he gets snubbed from the Marvels at the MCU. So I feel like that's gonna be funny to see.
Is he big in the comics though?
No, I don't even think he's really. I thought he had his own universe. That's why I'm shocked.
Oh, like he wasn't in the thing?
He's not in the Marvel universe as far as I know.
I think he is. I think it's like they have vampires and.
I know they have rights to him, but I never seen like Spider-Man and Blade. I don't remember them interacting, but maybe I'm confused. I don't know.
Any of those like what I've mentioned, any of them stick out to you? Like, oh, I can't wait to watch that.
Maybe Thor: Love and Thunder.
Why?
Because the last Thor was mad funny.
Last Thor was mad funny.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm a big fan of the Thor series. I even liked like 2 and 1 where people don't like those ones. I like them.
I don't know how.
The one I don't like is about Thor: Love and Thunder was they already showcased like Natalie Portman in the
Marvel Comics.
Marvel Comic-Con, like when they had that. She came out and she had like the hammer and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, like, why'd you need to do that? Like, now we know she gets
She
the
gets
powers.
revived. Maybe she wait. Natalie Portman is which one?
She plays Jane Foster in Thor in the Thor movies.
Maybe it's just like for show. Like
I
I
don't
don't
know.
see I don't see anyone being able to like carry Thor's hammer.
Because there's a specific comic about like Lady Thor. I
Yeah.
think it's called Lady Thor, where Jane Foster takes up the mantle.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I don't know.
They're like recent comics too. So, that one's cool. Panther Wakanda Forever. Like I have to see that. Like that's like
I feel
a
like
big movie.
okay. This is why I feel like the Black Panther, and I know I should like it a lot, but this is why I feel like the next Black Panther movie can't be as sick to me is because they killed the villain, and the villain was so sick. Like I don't want to see another movie without that character.
Killmonger. He was
Ye-
actually dope.
Killmonger was like from the beginning of the movie, like yo, he was fire. So like now I gotta watch the movie again, and then there's gonna be no Killmonger in the movie. Like that's gonna be tough for me. That's gonna be a tough pill for me to swallow.
The silver lining is like they have a lot of time to like build this.
Yeah.
Because it's 2022. I think they have a. No, they don't have a lot of time.
They probably already have their story down.
They probably do, yeah. But there was like rumors about like who's gonna be the next Black Panther because unfortunately, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman
Yeah.
passed away. So they were like, oh, would it be Shuri? I'm like, gosh, like Shuri's a cool character, but like I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to see Shuri as the Black Panther.
You think they're gonna rewrite the whole story?
They're gonna have to like they can't. What are they gonna CGI him?
Cast someone else.
Oh, like just replace him in
Yeah.
general. I guess you could like
Have him go into a car accident and then have his sister be like, "Oh my god, like his face has been destroyed. We gotta do something about it." And then she's like, "Oh, don't worry, have this facial reconstructive machine and then do its thing." And after they're like, boom.
does that like is that like
That would be good enough for me.
is that respectable for Chadwick Boseman? Not really.
I guess not really. Like
I guess you could do that and like short term the effects would be like we would know. Like we
Yeah.
would know like they did a recasting. Maybe 4 or 5 years later, phase 6 or 7, we forget.
yeah, we're like,
But,
oh, this is the new one.
But I'm not sure, but there was rumors about like Killmonger like coming back and taking up the
That
mantle.
would be sick.
That'd be
that would
fucking
be super
tight.
sick.
That would be sick. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It looks like 2022 has the bangers right now. I don't know what to tell you.
Doctor Strange multiverse. Doctor Strange would be good.
Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Thor. Like they just have 3 big ones. This year we still have Eternals and we have Spider-Man. We had the shows, which was dope. But I think 2022 wins right now.
I can see it. I wonder if like they don't have any big hitters like they did with like the first like few phases. So I feel like it's gonna be hard. Like now your story has to be like really good to like carry. Like Eternals aren't characters that were like, oh my god, like, or at least for me, like, oh my god, like I need to see like the Eternals. Like no one really has like a childhood tied to like the Eternals as much. So then now the story has to be good or better for people to want to go into the movie theater and be like, oh, like let me watch
phase
this.
or for this year.
For like phases for I guess Eternals is 2021 one, right?
Yeah.
For 2021
2022 like we've already established like those big 3 Thor, Black Panther and Doctor Strange like
yeah, those
will, like,
those
they'll
can
do
carry
its thing.
for
For
2021.
Eternals, I see where you're coming from because I didn't know like I'm not really crazy comic like you're a bigger comic person
Yeah.
than I am. I'm more of MCU, but because of the MCU like I learned about comic book stories, and then once I learned about the Eternals and like the possibilities and then like theories, I was like, you know what, these guys are sick. Like I can't wait for that movie because
Yeah.
if they do it how I'm thinking of it, like it'll be fire.
I wonder why they don't bring like the X-Men and start to sprinkle like because did they not they have the rights to the X-Men now, right?
Yeah, so that was one of my questions. So now Disney/Marvel purchased Fox.
Yeah.
And pretty much where do you expect them to interject the mutants? Like where does the X-Men come in? Like they have to what I think they'll do is interject mutants here and there,
Yeah.
and then it'll be like explanation and
I want to
full
see
story.
Wolverine in a Spider-Man movie because Wolverine and Spider-Man are known to like
Crossover?
work crossover a lot, like, and have like a lot of interact. Well, Spider-Man is a character that interacts with like a lot of like other Marvel characters. Like literally you'd read his comics and like every third comic would be like, oh, I bumped into this guy or I bumped into that guy. So like I feel like I would be excited for the Spider-Man movie if Wolverine was working with him. I'd be like super ecstatic, or like at least the fire guy from the Fantastic Four. If he was in the movie, if I knew he was gonna be in it, that'd be like a sick way to introduce it. Actually, don't even tell me. Just have it in the movie, and then I'd be hyped for the movie if I seen that.
Yeah, so like that's exactly what I don't want them to show me in trailers to get
Yeah.
me to watch the movie because I'm watching everything already.
Regardless, yeah.
100%. And then I don't want like I want to be like pretty much like Captain America. Like imagine they showed the trailer of him in Endgame catching the hammer versus the reaction the audience gave
When they
they
caught it,
actually
yeah.
watched it. Like that's the difference. Like keep that shit like secret. Fantastic Four is another one. Like everybody wants these characters. We thought we were gonna get it with WandaVision when they said, oh, I know a aerospace engineer,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. A lot of this is a heavy discussions in terms of X-Men and mutants ever since they purchased Fox out.
Yeah.
So anytime like theory people could like figure out, oh, this guy's gonna be this, oh, he's a mutant, they said this. There is a lot of hints and Easter eggs here and there. I think the latest one was some actor from that plays the guy that like in Black Widow, you know when Alexei like smashes his hand down and he says, "Oh, like what year were you?" The big guy. He's like, "What year were you talking about that you fought Captain America? 83,
Oh
84?
yeah.
He said that actor apparently said he's playing the first mutant, the guy that like turns into a bear or something.
I don't know which one that is.
He said that in like an interview, and like he's already said it. I don't think they recorded anything, and like once Marvel knows like you slipped up and you're not a big name actor, you're gone. Like I don't even think you're gonna be doing that role.
That's actually how they play
Bro,
the
if
actor.
you, if yeah, if you like they get cheesed at like Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland
Yeah.
because they ruin stuff. So like they'll give them 5 different scripts, so they don't know the story.
Yeah.
So they don't know
I've
until,
heard
like,
about that.
Yeah.
I've heard Tom Holland has gone to like when one of the characters died, they brought him there, but they didn't tell him that somebody died. Like they just told him that.
I think they said it was like a wedding.
Yeah.
Or Tony, when Tony Stark died,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
you're going
yeah.
to a
They
wedding.
didn't tell him. They didn't tell him the ending.
Yeah, because these guys ruin things. But if somebody's like actively like spoiling it and they're like lesser known, like, oh, you're gonna be the first mutant. Okay, like they have no use for you. So
Yeah.
whatever you said is pretty much a lie. Like, and then nothing is like people can't expect it. You know. I think that's why I'm excited for Eternals, because I think Eternals can explain the in the MCU.
When they come back, I just hope it's not in a corny way. Like I just hope it's just like I want to see them. I don't want someone to talk about them. I gotta see them like face to face. I gotta see one of them or Charles Xavier like roll up in like a wheelchair. Like I don't want them to be like, oh, like there's these mutants and then attacking the city. But maybe they do it in a good way. Like as long as it's like cool, like it's an opportunity for me to be like, whoa, like in the movie theater. That's what I want. Like I want to be sitting in the movie theater. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe like that's him. Like Cardi B in Fast 9.
This ties into another question I had. Is like where do you who do you think is gonna be like the new characters introduced? For example, in WandaVision, like we got Monica Rambeau, who's now Photon, or who is going to be Photon. Like, what do you expect from at least, let's just say 2021, whatever's coming up in 2021? Are there any new characters besides like Eternals? We know all of them are gonna be new, but any characters that you didn't expect to see that are gonna be shown?
I think maybe in the Spider-Man we're gonna see this if we haven't. I don't think we have, but the Sinister Six. I don't think we have in like this in the Marvel like version of like the Spider-Man.
I think they had Easter eggs in his last movie.
For them, I think we'll see like the full squad of 6 like do their thing. That's it. Honestly, that's all I can really think of. That like that'd be missing. That'd be like, oh, like they would come back. Those are the only characters that are like the forefront of my mind that are like missing. The Fantastic Four, but I don't know like because you know how they said they have everything planned out.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they've had planned out before they got Fox. So like I don't know if they've had all this planned out, then they got Fox. Where like, well, we already have the next 4 years.
It's been like a year or two or more for Fox.
But maybe they had the plan for like the phases for like a lot longer.
True.
Then they're like,
but
well,
it's easier to, if you had that, it's easier to like put them somewhere.
like and make adjustments.
That makes sense, because I think in the last Spider-Man movie they also had like, I think it was a New York building or Washington, whatever. They had like construction in the back, and it's like 1, 2, and then it was a construction of a building, and they're
Yeah.
like phase 1 is done, phase 2 is done, phase 3 is done, phase 4 like it's coming, and like they were hinting towards like the Fantastic Four in that situation.
That would be pretty cool if they do it that way. But I like the reason why I'm starting to second guess if they even add them is because it takes so much planning, and like Marvel is like, yo, when it comes to planning the movies, they're the best at it.
Yeah.
So they planned everything like and it's super tight, like it's bulletproof. Now if you add these people in, I wonder if it can be just
Creates
as bulletproof
holes.
when they go like when they start making their own like the movies for those like mutants, and then they're like, well, we can't do the origin story because they knew about this guy here. Now he has to do something. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, like where were they when things were popping off?
Yeah.
That's the biggest question like everybody has. Besides, like we in real life we know like where were they? They were with Fox. Now Disney has acquired them, but in terms of the MCU story,
Where were they?
where were they?
Yeah.
Like why were the Eternals not there? And then I think in the trailers, like I don't know if I'm ruining it for you, but in the Eternals they mention like that. They're like, oh, we stayed to the side, like we stayed to the back.
You could do that with the
shadows or
mutants a little bit because mutants like they don't involve in certain things. So they could be like, oh, Professor Charles like didn't want us like involved in this or something like that. I can see that, but I don't know. It'd be a tough stretch.
I don't know if I already talked to you about this, but apparently they have already introduced, or like it's a rumor that they've already introduced a mutant.
Nah, I have no idea who it would be.
So it'd be Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was Sharon Carter, who was actually like rumored to be Mystique.
But Mystique's blue. Oh, but can't she change into like different people?
She's
Yeah,
shapeshifter,
yeah.
so she'd be the best person to. The reasoning was she'd be the best person to appear or come out as like the start of the mutants, because she's a shapeshifter. And reasoning being like Sharon Carter, like her whole personality has changed. We chalked it up to her getting snaked, but she never really specifically said, "Oh, you guys snaked me," or
Yeah.
something like that, right? She never did anything like that. Her and other people said like her fighting changed. Her style has changed when she was fighting. She's much more aggressive now, and even when she's like walking out of at the end scene for the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, she leaves the courthouse, and she's walking a little differently, like how Mystique would walk, I guess. I'm not sure. And then when they first show Sharon Carter, they show her in a blue light, which Mystique is blue. So that's the whole like Easter eggs and the reasoning that people
think they went into that much detail for it?
They could, because I know like the one thing, the lighting thing sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But they did do that for Kang. So when we first see Kang, we see him in purple light.
Yeah.
The reason being is in the comics he's like purple clothing and everything like that. So like they do pay attention to these things. It's not like they just.
It's not random.
It's not a random or coincidence or something like that. So they do like.
Yeah.
Take note, like the detail that these guys do things is crazy. Like the Easter eggs
I don't know how
wild.
they do it.
I was reading that the what's it called, wine bottle in WandaVision's like kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
The label in Latin read out to be like House of Madness or Home of Madness, something like that, which references the comic book, which references what they were referring to throughout the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the details and everything like that, that's pretty much the rumors for First Mutant.
I to be honest, I'll wait to see it because I don't know. Like I feel like I'm always gonna get caught in these like rabbit hole chases. And then like it'll be like, oh, it's not this one. It's like this one.
It's
like
fun though,
no?
This
one.
I love it. I actually love.
I don't honestly. I don't do too much. Like I'm different. That's where me and you are different. Like when I watch TV shows, like I'm literally like, this is me. Like just watching them. Like, oh, she's a mutant. Like I never seen that coming. Like,
oh, she's Power Broker. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't think she was gonna be Power Broker, which is kind of dumb. But I like sit back. I let you do the detective work, and then I'm like. I see that. Sometimes, you know what's crazy? Like, I won't even see it, and then you'll be like, you didn't notice that this, and this, like, is this? And I'll be like, yo, now that you said that, like, all the pieces put, like, go together. That, I don't know, that's just how it works for me.
How do you think, like, the Miss Marvel TV show is gonna go? This is gonna be, like, the first, I want to say Muslim teenage girl taking
superhero character.
We already know like like for us, like it's not a big deal. Like it should be whatever, but like
Yeah,
they already get like most people already get hate enough. I don't think the MCU like Marvel fans are pretty cool. I don't
yeah.
see any issues. But what do you think that's gonna be?
I
Like
think it's gonna be you know what I like about TV shows when they incorporate like the new world into like their show, right? Like Marvel is like obviously based in like it's the stories are based in like our world, but like just superhero esque.
yeah.
But I think it's gonna be like people like me and you. There's gonna be a little bit of a disconnect because like it's probably gonna be geared towards like teenage kids, right?
Mhm.
So I think there's things that they're gonna like pick up on that like make it more relatable to them than it
Mhm.
does for us specifically. But I still think it'll be good and interesting. But I still think that like there's gonna be stuff that like teenagers are gonna be like, oh, like
But you could relate to because you were a teenager at one point. So
yeah, I could relate
I
to,
can see
and I
like
have TikTok, so I feel like I can relate
oh
to like
100% they
a
have to
lot of.
have
I think a
TikTok.
lot of the stuff is gonna be relatable, but I think they're gonna make the shows geared towards them. I just hope they don't make it corny. Like you know how when they make like sometimes they'll make shows for teenagers,
Mhm.
but you could tell like an adult like it was everything was written by an adult who has no idea what teenagers go through at the time.
I know that they've already like with Falcon and Winter Soldier they went away from like the whole COVID thing because they don't want to bring it up for
Yeah,
whatever reason. I hope they connect like the blip like some things like the blip and the COVID situation with the lockdowns. I hope they make some connections there so it is still relatable for us.
yeah, that would actually be pretty good.
And then like oh they could say like oh the blip happened all my friends got smoked I don't know what to do I'm bored at home like doing
No, there's
nothing.
nothing. They had a lockdown.
And I hope like just when you were talking about like there not being something to relate to you,
Yeah.
I hope there's like a scene where she's like, I have to go like save do this or like I'm in a big rush and then like the mom comes down like yo you have to pray like it's time to pray now.
Oh my
That'd
god.
be sick like that'd be dope.
I feel like bare people would relate. I wonder if they would do that. I wonder if
They should.
I think they're gonna shy away. You know what a lot of shows do? Like
They
they'll have a
make a
Muslim character
and then
and then shy
from
away
the
from all the
Muslimness.
Muslim stuff. Like
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna happen. Like it'll be like the only thing that you'll see that you'll know they're Muslim is she's gonna be wearing a hijab and then that's it.
Like they did it for just to say like they've done
Yeah,
it.
they have a Muslim character. So I
But she
think
doesn't wear a hijab.
she does it.
No, not in the comics at least. Or
But is
or
it
in the
comics?
movie.
Is it a Muslim character in the comics?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe it won't be a hijab.
She like she looks what's it called Captain Marvel. She looks up to Captain Marvel, and then she ends up getting power somehow. I'm not sure her origin story, and then she like calls herself Miss Marvel, and then I assume she's gonna be tied into the Marvels movie in next year, November 11th.
I think it's gonna be tough because the female Muslim Twitter community will assassinate that character
Because she's not wearing a hijab.
if no not because she's not wearing her hijab. If they get that character wrong, like if because it's a female Muslim character, if she doesn't come off as like what they think a female Muslim character should be like, then they're gonna assassinate that character and they're gonna be like,
Is it a strong community?
yeah, they've done it before. I know this one girl. Oh my god, like bro, they're mad picky, but they're mad picky. Not if she's like not Muslim, but like if it's like unrealistic, like
Mm-hmm.
because they've done stuff like before. Like I've seen TV shows do stuff with like Muslim characters before, and then like it'll just be the most extra thing, or like they'll just be like. I don't know how to explain it without saying something that might get me canceled, but like they'll have like a female Muslim character and then like she'll be like, oh, I'm gonna date this white guy, and then after
Oh, they'll
like
just slaughter her.
yeah,
For that?
like they'll because like it just doesn't make sense. Like and after they'll be like they'll go
But
home,
that's realistic. Like, there's definitely like Muslim girls that.
which is true. But then they'll go home and then after their parents will be like, oh, we don't want you dating them, and then they'll go to school the next day with the hijab off, and then after
Cut their
this is
hair,
what they say on
highlight it.
Twitter, and then after like they'll get into a breakup, and then they'll be like, oh my god, like I should have been like I should have like went on my own way or some crazy like narrative that's just like just the most like I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
I wanted to ask you about that because like Miss Marvel because I wanted to know if you think they're gonna be starting like the Young Avengers. Like, does that start with? Now, I don't think it starts with Phase 4, but does that is that what they're building up towards? We
It
have
would be sick, but we don't have any other young characters that like
Tom Holland's young. He's still in high school, as you said.
He wouldn't be. Well, if he is, then it would be different. Because Spider-Man was never in the Young Avengers. Because he was like an OG. So like I don't know. But can Tom Holland be like?
Because okay, so the Young Avengers, what would we have? We would have, I assume, Tom Holland, because right now he's in the same age group
Yeah.
as an MCU.
And then the
Camilla
teenage one.
Khan, and then Hawkeye's daughter.
Oh yeah, they had Hawkeye's daughter. I'm trying to
I'm
think.
not sure what her name.
When I
Name
think
is.
of
Her
Young,
name Deadshot.
I wouldn't know because I never got that far in the
Hawkeye stuff.
comic books. When I
Yeah.
think of Young Avengers, I think of Young Justice, like the DC version of like
Yeah,
the
like
because they're good with those characters.
Superboy and like
Yeah,
yeah,
I can't
Robin.
think of like actual like Marvel characters that would fit in the Young
Yeah, DC
Avengers.
actually does a better job with the young team.
Yeah, I don't. They should just stick to that. They should like literally like make a couple DC movies and then stick to that. Are you like, what do you want from Phase 4? Like, what do you think? What would be a successful Phase 4 rollout for you?
Successful Phase 4. Like when I'm looking at this, I'm like, yo, these are like a lot of bangers. Like I'm looking forward to a lot. Spider-Man, I want him to, because I think he signed on to another 3-year deal.
Yeah,
So I think this is one and then three more after that, or two more after that.
yeah.
So I'm like I'm good with him. The Eternals, they have like a fire cast. The only issue I can see with that is like contract negotiations. With like us,
Some of
a
the
lot of people,
characters.
like if they're big enough, like they'll get other opportunities elsewhere, and they don't want to stay with the one role for a decade,
Do
which
you think it's a one-off movie, The Eternals?
I can't be.
Okay.
From what their characters are, I don't think it can be a one-off movie. Like Phase 1 and 3 took 10 years to build, right?
Yeah,
And I don't know if these actors are gonna want to stay with that character for
for
10
10
plus
years.
years.
Yeah.
They want other things, etc. I think that movie's gonna be like really good. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, like all of these like look really good. So the only thing that I could see that I want all of this, the only thing I don't want is like them messing up the story because of the timeline and like time travel. Like they've been doing that a lot, and like
Oh,
I
I know
personally
what you
thought that
mean.
was like a cop out of a storyline in terms of Endgame, but they could fix it up. But like it seems like they answer one question and then give me three more, and it's like I'm not sure. That's the only reason I feel like I don't want that from the rollout. But overall, good introductions to the characters. It doesn't have to be like everything, but good introductions, because I know everything's gonna be building for Phase 5 and 6.
Yeah. When you said the timeline, I was thinking about Link Click and then like how they did the timeline, but it is what it is.
Uh,
Um, oh dang, I had another question like on the tongue. Okay, so when I said one-off movie, like because the Eternals are like super powerful, so like in that world, how would they like? Do you think they're gonna be like villains or like superheroes that you have to fight against? Because I thought of it as like they'll have like this one storyline that'll like say like, oh hey, we exist, and then kind of like
Dip out.
go back into the background. You don't see that?
I see that. Just because they're not gonna be like with like petty squabbles of like, oh, this guy's taking over this city,
Yeah,
like nonsense like that. Like Shang-Chi, like is gonna be like his villain is his father,
yeah,
Mandarin, right? But like I don't see like the Eternal stepping in, like killing the Mandarin, because they can do it and they just want to end that nonsense.
yeah,
They just don't care. Like it doesn't affect them. But like they have to stick around, and like we have to see them here and there to remind us that they're there. And then they come out like super heavy duty when Galactus shows up. Like now they're ready to fight celestial level threat.
Could you ever see yourself being tired of like, cause you watch so many Marvel movies? Could you see yourself being tired of like the Marvel universe? Like with Fast, cause there's a time where the Fast and Furious movies were like, you're like, yo, you gotta watch these. Like they're your top movies. You think Marvel could ever like disappoint you? No, obviously, cause with the new Fast 9, it's like almost like they didn't care. Like they're like,
They
yo, we're
did it
gonna
on
disappoint
purpose.
you.
Yeah.
But like, could you ever see yourself being unexcited for any of the movies?
Unexcited, yeah. Like I'm not too excited for Ant-Man, even though I know Kang's in there. Like
Yeah,
I'm not a crazy Ant-Man fan. Like his movies are cool and I'll sit down and watch, but it's not like where I'm like what's going on? Like let me see. I'm not like too detailed into it. So it's not something crazy, but I don't know if it can, I don't know if I can't see it Marvel disappoint, like not disappoint, Marvel, me not being interested.
yeah,
I can't see like me not being interested in it. But I can see them like losing it here and there. The only reason being because they've done so well already,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the ability to surprise us. Like the surprise was on their side because we didn't expect anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know what you're capable of. We know how much money you've generated. You're backed by Disney now. You still have like similar staff, Kevin Feige at the top. Like now we now there's like not a reason for us to judge you off the past. Like we want you to stay at that same standard,
Yeah.
even though realistically it's not planned to be that. Because so say they go to like Galactus level, they defeat Galactus because they're
Yeah.
superheroes. They kill Galactus, and then wash. What happens after Galactus? Galactus is a celestial level threat.
You can't like
Um,
outdo that.
you could, I guess you could go to like the Living Tribunal. You could go and eventually like it's the One for All, and the One for All is like the god of the MCU.
Yeah.
Right? Like what do you do after that? And in this we already realized with Loki like the timeline is a loop.
He could take. I was thinking
So-
of another villain.
So like how do we keep? Eventually, I can be like, all right, like it's reached its peak. I don't think it's gonna be like at that level anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I can't see it. I know it's like more than likely happening, but I can't see myself not watching.
I was thinking like now like instead of like Galactus, what if it'd be sick like a war, like a Kree war, like a war like with another like nation would be could be pretty
Nation
cool.
or, like,
But
planet?
technically, I guess planet. But then
We've
I'm
already
thinking
seen a
that's
war. We've seen
there's
an
like
alien
Thanos.
war.
Yeah. That's like alien invader. So maybe I'm wrong about that.
They have to like pick up different storylines, and like the multiverse is what I think they're leaning towards, because in Loki, you know, the last episode where they like zoomed out of one thing and it was a black hole, but it
Yeah.
bordered another black hole. So one thing happens in this universe, but it doesn't happen in this universe. So that's what they're pretty much saying. Like these black holes are beside each other, so things are similar but slightly different. So I feel like they're just gonna grasp onto that and then just say, okay, well, we killed Galactus in this universe, but in this universe we never fought him.
Yeah.
We fought so and so. So I think they're just gonna jump from story to story. Eventually, like the stakes aren't gonna be like as high. The stories won't matter as much, and it'll dwindle down. But maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll have like crazy technology then where we can see this in like 4D or 5D.
That would
or
be
something.
sick. Like you're in it, like you watch it and you step inside and it feels like you're in it. That would be too sick.
Yeah.
I wonder if like they can keep creating great stories where like I'm like, because Disney is gonna outlive us like as a company. I feel like Disney is gonna be one of those companies that like will die and Disney will still be there, and our kids
Yeah,
will be
because
watching like
it's
Disney
been 150
movies.
years. And
Yeah,
they're still here.
they're too sick with it. So I want it to be sick where I'm like 85 years old and I'm just like I just want to live long enough to, well, maybe not 85, maybe like 97, and I'm like, oh, I just want to live long enough to see that like the final like phase, like, you know what I mean, like when Thanos like like I want them to keep making movies, but I just don't think they can. But it'd be super sick if they could keep making movies where like you have Infinity War and then like you have like say I'm like 97, that version of Infinity War, and I'm like, yo, I just want to see like this last movie and then watch it and I'm like, oh, okay, like I can go now. Like I just don't know how they're gonna be able to do that, like, cause it's just so
to keep you that hyped.
yeah, cause Infinity War was the most hyped, like, and I was younger, granted, but Infinity War I had so much hype for it, so I just want to see like them bring that back, but I don't know how they can do that because, like, when we're talking about the TV shows, we're talking about Loki, WandaVision was good, and the Captain or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like. Loki was alright, Falcon and the Winter Soldier alright, WandaVision was good, but none of them made me like, yo, like I can't wait to see like the next thing they put out. Like I want them to, like, I don't know, they gotta do something to make me like, yo, I gotta see the next.
For me, for WandaVision made me say like I can't wait till Doctor
See the
Strange.
Oh yeah.
I like Spider-Man, but I get like I don't have that same feeling. Eternals I really want to see because I truly feel like my theory of them introducing the structure of mutants,
Yeah.
it makes so much sense. So I just want to be
So
right.
you really feel like we'll see mutants in Eternals?
I feel like not if we don't see them, we'll have an
Get a hint.
explanation.
Yeah, okay.
Or like a solid like piece of evidence, not an Easter egg, like a solid piece of evidence.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. And then Black Panther, I just want to see because Black Panther was one of the best movies of the last 10 years for Marvel.
Yeah.
So I think I just can't wait till if Chadwick Boseman was still alive, like I feel like that would be like such a
The
highly
most hyped.
anticipated, like
I
the
think
most
so.
hyped.
Mm.
But right now it's more of like what are they gonna do, and like all eyes are on them because they have to give us like a good storyline, but still deal with his passing. That's the only thing I can see right now that I'm like highly anticipated for. But the one key thing is like again it's like expectations. You're saying like you don't know if you like want to watch something else, so you're not like hyped for it as you were
Yeah.
for Infinity War. But it was 10 years of build up. Like it was 2008 when these movies came out, and Infinity War came out what 2017,
I think so.
2018. So those like it's a build up too, and you didn't know this was building up till then, until maybe like a year or two prior,
Yeah.
and now we know everything is building up to like a Galactus level or another Thanos level, but it's more pressure on them pretty much.
I hope they succeed. Like I hope they can get it done, but I just don't know how.
Side note: the Infinity War was like the best movie out of that saga.
Infinity War, it was goes in Endgame, right?
Yeah,
Endgame was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Infinity War was good. I think because Infinity War wasn't the last one, they could do stuff with it that they couldn't do like in any other movie.
Yeah, so they could like it's the best setup. Like they're like, yeah, like the bad guy wins.
Yeah,
and, like, it's
which
like,
was so
and
sick.
everybody gets dusted. Like now what? And then the Endgame came out. Like had to fix it up.
Yeah,
Make the
Infinity
good
War
guy
was
win.
way like
It was a
like, it
much
was
better movie.
too
Like
sick.
when you left the theaters, you're like, yo, that was sick.
Yeah,
And I can't wait a year. Like I have to wait a whole year to watch this. So that was dope. I liked it. In terms of like what characters I asked you this prior, what
Mhm.
characters I think they're gonna come out with. Some mutants here and there. I can get behind that Mystique Sharon Carter thing. Let's see. I wonder if we're gonna see what's the guy from Thor. He's like he fights Thor and he gets the same powers as him, but he has like a beak or whatever. He's like a lizard or something. Forgetting his name.
hold up. He also has a hammer.
He also has a hammer. His name starts with like a B. It's like such a hillbilly type name.
I know the lizard. The lizard.
His statue was in Ragnarok movie. Like he had like when Hulk was like fighting and he was the champion. He was a champion there
Let me see if I
too.
could pull it up.
Let's see what else.
Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray
That is
Bill.
actually a mad
Such a
country
hillbilly
name. Mad hillbilly name.
But I think we might see him. And then was Ironheart like rumored, or is that in production to happen?
Ironheart.
Because we were talking about like your sister like even trying out for that role, no?
Oh yeah, I think that was rumored. Wait, let me see. Let me go to all. Let me see what it says in the news section. Ironheart's proving she's Iron Man's one true heir. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about her being. That would be sick though.
Like your sister playing it?
Just in general, like the character in general. Like,
Yeah.
I like the Iron Man type characters.
In terms of like a Young Avengers, like
Yeah.
that would fit well. And they can introduce that like whenever, pretty much. But for phase 4, 5, 6, 7, damn, I have a lisp. But 4, 5, 6, 7, do we see a Tony Stark like
No, I think he's
type
gone.
leader?
Oh, type leader.
Yeah, he's dead, but like
I don't think it's gonna be Spider-Man.
no.
Nah, Spider-Man's like he would be a terrible leader.
I feel like he fits.
Nah, he'd be a terrible. He's like too inconsistent. He's trying to keep his life together. Like
He's a high school kid.
That's like Tony Stark. Tony
Yeah,
Stark's
Tony
the same
Stark
way
was
too.
was a
Nah,
playboy and
like,
stuff.
I just can't see a Black Panther following
Chadwick Boseman.
following Spider-Man. Like, cause if he's a leader, like I just can't see like technically Captain America was the lead. Can we say Captain America was a leader last time?
See,
Because
that's what I
technically
don't
no
like.
one really followed Tony. Was Tony Stark a leader, or was he like trying to be a leader?
I feel like Captain America was a leader, like the definition of a leader was Captain America,
Yeah.
and like he had people following him that would want to follow him, but like the leader for the MCU was Tony.
Yeah, he was the head of the MCU, but like when you say leader, what do you mean? So now you gotta go into the definition of it.
Like carry an MCU on their back. Like which character carries?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Doesn't
maybe
have
it
to
might
be
be.
storyline wise.
Maybe it would be Spider-Man, but he just like I don't know, like
I can't find
Tony
anybody
Stark's
besides.
because his was so cool because like Tony Stark's character was so sick because he introduced us into like a time when we were younger that we couldn't even imagine. Like it was futuristic.
Facts.
It was like when you're watching a Tony Stark movie, you're watching like what it would be like to live in the future. I don't even remember what futuristic things are there now. Like he had like Jarvis.
He had
and stuff
Jarvis,
like that.
and then he would like his computer would like open something up, and then he would just like have his
Yeah,
hand
drag
close
it. Oh, brother.
He'd like have a whole like you say he had a website open. He would scrunch it up, toss in the garbage.
Yeah,
I was like, yo,
that was too sick. Like I feel like that's what made those movies so sick, and we never seen anything like it. So like, but Spider-Man movies don't give us like that. Like
I feel like okay, so
damn, he was such a good character.
people were asking like who's gonna be like when he died, and they were saying like the kid in Iron Man 2, he helps him. He was at Tony Stark's funeral as well. They're like, oh, they brought him back because he was just as smart. Like he's gonna be the next Iron Man. I don't know if he was just as smart, but he's gonna be the next Iron Man. I was like, like that works. Like I seen him.
Yeah.
But now that I've like pictured Tom Holland like move from Spider-Man to Tony, I'm like, yo, he's such a better character. He's funnier. He's witty. He's just as intelligent, and super young. Like he could do this for years.
Yeah.
And I like watching all of his movies. They're entertaining. Like I can't see that kid matching up to that. Now it's like even if he doesn't do it, even if Spider-Man is not the guy,
yeah,
like you have to beat Spider-Man to get that Tony Stark role. Like who's gonna be better than that guy? I guess they could come out with like an Ironheart like character
Thor.
to make Thor is sick, but like we don't know if Chris Hemsworth wants to play this for long term.
Yeah.
He also had disputes already, and like, bro, like the man gave up Asgard. Like I don't want to be king. Valkyrie, you can be queen, the first ever. Like, bro, like this is such a big heritage. Like
I'm trying to think.
Odin had the Odin Force, and Thor's like, I don't want to do it. Like, bro, man up. I don't know.
I don't know who it is, but I don't think it's gonna be Spider-Man.
It can't be Hulk. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
That's for damn sure.
I don't know who it is, but it's just like maybe it is Spider-Man, like for the face of the Marvel, like the whole Marvel thing.
Yeah.
But maybe
that's a better
maybe,
word. Like
yeah,
face. The
face of it. Maybe it is Spider-Man, but I want a different character.
You want a different?
Yeah.
Which is so weird because you like.
I like Spider-Man, but I want like someone that like is more like sick. Like I like Spider-Man, he's a good character, but I need someone more like sick. Like
if prior to this, if you said like Chadwick Boseman, like
I think the reason why Chadwick Boseman could or the Black Panther could never be the face for like everybody is because the nature of Wakanda. And I know it's not like technically like because we're talking about the real world versus like the inside world, but the nature of Wakanda is to be like private. And I know they're trying to change the ways, but like he's almost like they're independent and they sometimes come out to like help.
But they changed at the end. Like they completely changed.
They completely changed, but I'll always get the vibe that like, yo, we keep to ourselves.
He is part of like the Marvel Illuminati. Him, Xavier, Professor X, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, and somebody else. But that's the Illuminati pretty much. So I guess he does play a significant role, but I don't know if he's
Professor Charles, there's like 6 of them.
6? So what
Professor Charles was on them too.
Yeah.
You said Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Professor Charles. I think the
Black Panther.
I think Magneto was on there too. I'm not sure. But it was pretty sick when they're all in the room talking.
They're in the room talking. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Get this guy off our planet.
Is there any like so one of the questions I have is besides highly notable villains like Kang and and Galactus and stuff, will we see another Killmonger-esque type character, a person who isn't a big character but in the MCU terms turns out to be top two or like top three in terms of villains. Like in my opinion, it's Thanos and then Killmonger, and depending on what you're looking for, like you could swap them. Like Killmonger could be the top villain. Like he was just sick in that role.
I think for people like me and you, there could never be another one. Because I hear some people say they didn't really like Killmonger, but I feel like for people like me and you, like Killmonger kind of relates. But I feel like for other people, like they can see someone else because like they like other people like villains like the Joker. So like I feel like people like me and you, like Killmonger, like you will never see anyone like top that.
Mm-hmm.
But like for other people, they'll have like their favorite villain, and it'll probably be someone like the Joker. Like Kang, like a lot of people really think like Kang is good, like but Kang is super sick. But I think because he kind of resembles the Joker in that like he's crazy. So I feel like people like those villains more. But I don't think anyone else can like embody the essence of like what we had with like Killmonger. Like he had real, he felt like a real like villain and had like real like goals and like struggles. Thanos did too in a sense, like his backstory was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I highly doubt we see
Like this Killmonger character didn't have powers, but he was like he played everything smart, and like he had like true feelings like, oh, you guys killed my dad,
yeah.
and you
Left
don't
me.
want to help like the people like that are in the struggle like me.
Yeah.
But I'll show you like what I can do.
And then boom takes
Boom.
over Wakanda. Nah,
This
he's
is your
too sick.
this is your king. Oh my.
You think you could see you see like any, cause like what setting could you see a setting where like you would have a villain like that would create a villain like that?
I don't think we the reason why I can't, because not only is Killmonger like a super good character,
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan is like a great actor. So like they had like an A combination and
Yeah.
then made like an A plus. But I don't see that happening. Like we definitely get like really good characters, in terms of like Tony Stark with Robert Downey Jr. was like A plus status. But in terms of villain, like I don't know. I don't think we see that again.
Yeah, I think it's like that's like a once in a lifetime. That's one that you like show your kids.
Yeah. I feel like Marvel has had a bunch of success with their TV shows. So do you think that will continue on? Like we do have 1, 2, 3 more scheduled TV shows that are supposed to be canon. And they've had 3 already launch in like the Disney app and everything like that. Before you give your answer, I just want to say like I think some of the success comes from the fact that it was COVID, and we just came off of Endgame, so we were MCU hungry. We needed something in terms of superhero stuff, and then COVID had us like locked in, and then like WandaVision launched, and we're still in lockdown, so or at least we were in Canada, and then we just wanted to watch it like over and over again, but I think it was good regardless. I'm just saying, like, did they get a boost from COVID? Do you think because they see this success that they're gonna give a lot of like the side characters, the smaller characters, more of their own TV series rather than a whole movie? Even though the budget was similar.
I agree with you in that because of COVID and like we're MCU hungry. I think with every movie, it'll be like, they would have to step up the story higher. Like I feel like we give it a benefit of the doubt because it's Marvel, but I feel like by the fifth one, it'll be like, we've seen Marvel TV shows before. Now the only thing that matters is if it's good or not. I think it might be a situation where like people will be like, even though this is Marvel, I'm not like gonna watch it. Like I've seen Marvel TV shows before, so like I don't really like this one. Like I'll just watch the next one. I don't know. I think that's the position Marvel is gonna be in.
I agree with it. I
Especially Falcon and the Winter. Like, could you watch another Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Like, if you got a vibe that a show is gonna be like not obviously not the same, but like the same quality.
I would only have to watch it because like we have these discussions, and just because like I am big into the MCU.
Yeah.
Beyond that, like I could definitely see like the vibe of like a casual watcher just being like, nah, that doesn't look good. I don't want to watch it.
Facts.
And people are like that right now with things that are supposed to be canon, so I could definitely see that.
And you have so many other TV shows coming out that you could watch too. So like, it's hard to watch a TV show that you don't like when you have like so many other TV shows. There's so much things that can take your time, so it's hard for a TV show to like take your time. You have so many options entertainment wise, like TikTok, movies, TV shows. Like you just have Instagram. Like there's just so much things that take your time just in general that it becomes harder for someone to be like invested in a TV show. Anime does a good job. Like I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. Last question I have for you is pretty much pick one out of the list and then just let us know like which one you're most excited for.
Oh, Shang-Chi for sure.
Shang-Chi
Y-
over Love and Thunder too?
Yeah. Cause I never seen it. It's a new story. I don't know
Completely
anything,
new, yeah.
nothing about it, and it looks like sick. He's going up against his father, and then it's like one of those Asian like movies. Like, what would you pick? Like, what would you like say? Like, oh wait, let me guess it. Let me guess it. I'm thinking, cause you said it, but I'm thinking Doctor Strange.
No, it's gonna be Eternals.
Oh, brother,
I think it's just more of my theories
it
like
all comes to light.
yeah, I feel like it's just so fun to like predict what's gonna happen or like having these connective pieces and being like, oh, like I had this right, like I thought of this,
Yeah,
like this is what came on the screen. But even though like I feel like Doctor Strange is gonna be a better story and I'm gonna look forward to that for sure, I just want to be right on the theories. I don't know.
this guy's gonna have the paper checking it off. Oh, I knew this was gonna happen. Oh, I knew this
Top
was gonna
left,
happen.
I'm gonna message him first and be like, yo, remember when I said this? Oh, he's gonna be like, oh, I don't really recall. Well, we have the video up, so.
Bro, I think the Eternals will have like I don't know. I don't know what the Eternals will have, to be honest. I'll be a liar if I said like I didn't even watch really. I think I watched the trailer, but I don't remember much of it. I think I stopped a
We
little
have the
bit
guy
early.
that plays Rob Stark. We have Kit Harington that plays Jon Snow. We have Angelina Jolie, Sama Hayek or whatever. We just have heavy hitters and they play like strong ass characters. So yeah, I'm excited for that, man.
We'll see. I feel like I have one more question that I wanted to ask, but I can't remember. Do you? Oh no, this is kind of off topic. Do you think that DC, like going into phase 4, 5, 6, we did 1, 2, 3. DC couldn't compete 1, 2, 3 at all. Do you think with phase 4,
No,
5, and 6 that DC could have a
no,
chance to
we
compete?
you can see them struggling right now. Like they're like they don't know what movie to come out with. They don't know how to fit the storylines together. They see like the Avengers instead of just seeing like the build up. They see the Avengers, so they're like they need to make the Justice League right away. Like
Yeah, or
that
like
movie was a
Suicide
flop.
Squad.
Oh, let's make Snyder cut. Like yo, we're gonna go watch the movie on this upcoming Tuesday, which was the
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, and we're both not looking forward to this. Like
The Snyder Cut was one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard of in my life. Like, because you have a movie, bro. Imagine you don't like Cowboy Bebop, right?
no,
So imagine like you have Cowboy Bebop, and I'm like, I know you didn't like the first one, but let me give you another cut with more footage, and you're gonna definitely like it. You're gonna be
yeah,
like, bro, like you. First of all, you already know the plot of the movie, so you can't be surprised. Any essence of surprise is taken away. Now you're
exactly.
gonna watch the same thing with more like scenes. You're gonna be like, bro, like there's no way. Like I just didn't understand how the Snyder cut would make the movie. Like it could make the movie better in certain terms of like, hey, if you watch this for the first time or you watch this for the first time, this will be better. But it was impossible for like
For a rewatch to make
rewatch and
sense.
be better.
Rewatch like yeah, like I gave it a better rating. The only reason being is because they didn't give everybody like their own movie to have like a background story be built, right?
Yeah.
So they did it in the movie and then they cut it all out. So like we were just introduced to these characters, they jammed them together, and then they're fighting these big
In the
guys.
original?
The original, and this one like they showed like the background story of like this character, and like how they met, and like so it was so much longer, but they got a little bit of a better rating for that.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see like me not paying for that, and like
Definitely, I would never pay
it
for
wouldn't make
for, like,
sense.
I would never pay for that. They were finessing. Like I just didn't understand the concept of it, of why I would like watching a movie the second time that you don't like, but with like more cuts would make it better. I just never, I
And
literally didn't
paying
get that.
again, yeah.
And
They
it,
ended up making like 70, 80
yeah,
million.
they just try to get their bag. Honestly, if you could do that and get $70 million, why not?
I think when they came up with that, Marvel directors, the Russo brothers wanted to talk about like the the Russo cut, and it was like Endgame, but like 6 hours,
How long is the movie now? Like 2.5?
2.5, 3 hours.
I would watch Endgame 6 hours.
6 hours would be sick, but like I'd
I
have
would
to
watch
break
it
it
at
up.
home though. I wouldn't pay it in theaters.
Yeah, exactly.
I watch it at home, but that would be the like.
What I don't get about DC people is like, why don't they just? It's same with like EA. Like you know how there's 2K and the EA.
Yeah.
EA consistently makes bad games, and why don't you just go and just poach the same people and pay them more money?
I don't know, because they don't like DC's, like, you're not technically in direct competition with Marvel, right? Like, if you're in a direct competition with Marvel, I understand. Like, EA, I understand, because they could make the best game, but people won't buy it because it's EA. But if you're DC, like, you could, like, literally, like, yo, like, invest so much into your movies and make it a powerhouse. Like, I just don't understand the concept of, like, being lazy on your movie, or like, and you only have so many resources before, like, you can't even reach out to the older generation. You can only get the younger generation, like, because like the Spider-Man movies, you get tired because you've watched like so many different Spider-Man movies. Like, if they did another reboot for Spider-Man, like, you'd be exhausted to watch like another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't understand why not, like, okay, yo, we'll make a Batman movie. We'll make the Batman movie sick. They've already made sick Batman movies. Superman, leave him till last. Think Flash, you already have the TV series, which for the first couple seasons did a good job.
Did a better job than the actual
Yeah,
movie.
so like, why not use that? Honestly, I maybe it's cheating. Use Barry, like, I'd use Barry
from
in the
the
movie.
yeah,
From
he was
the TV show.
way better fucking.
It just, that would make the most sense to me. Like, bro, call up Barry and be like, you're, and more people would want to see that, and then the writers could like jump in on that.
They've built up like their like slow progression from the TV series.
Yeah.
Now you can say like, oh, we're not gonna give him his own movie because his build up, his storyline was already from season 1 to 6, and you can check it out here.
They, like, I don't know, that makes the most sense. Was Arrow ever on the Justice League? Was he on the movies?
I don't know if he's in the part of the Justice League. I think if he's a part of the Justice League, it must be an extended Justice League.
Because
he's not about the main Justice League.
He was sick, like, in the beginning, so like people would have like an idea.
He doesn't
want to
do it though. That actor.
You don't think he want to do it?
No, he's like done with it.
Yo, I to be honest, they had him for like bare seasons.
They had him long.
But I don't know. They had like.
I wonder if he hated the emotional scenes just as much as we hated the emotional scenes.
With like Felicity and stuff like that. He had to have, bro. Like, he's probably, and the thing is, his character doesn't wild out, so he's probably like he's thinking like, bro, Felicity, you're dumb as F for thinking this. I used to think, yo, like, what. That's why I stopped watching the show, because like they would argue about things that like
the dumbest
things, like in the context of the fact that like the world is about to end, they'd be arguing about like a secret he had to keep, because I don't even want to ruin the show.
And then he has to share it so he can get it off his chest and then feel better.
No, that was too emotional.
I think they should just reach out to these writers and just double the money that they're making.
And you think doubling the money?
Bro, just get them on board, because
you're saying not the same writers, but like any writers.
The writers of like the MCU, those people, just poach them, because like you need to do something.
Yeah.
Marvel will figure it out. Like, if they lose somebody, they'll be able to replace him, and then like they have a good like system where they'll learn. But in terms of DC, like, you need, what's the point of spending? I don't know the numbers. I'm just saying, spend 150 million on a movie budget, and then they gross 125 million, and then after 2 years, then they finally reach 175, and their profit is 25 million. What's the point of all that? Like, your movies have flopped for so many years. Just shell out the money, and it's Warner Brothers. Like, just shell out the money, take a loss in the beginning.
Yeah.
Make something good and build it to a giant, because in terms of like the storyline, like we were saying, where can they go? Like, after Galactus, where do they go? How do they keep going forward? The Justice League has a better chance of just, if once Marvel starts dying down, then you catch them on an upswing. And I'm pretty sure in like the comics, a lot of the DC comic stories are really good, so they could use a lot. It's
funny because they have like a lot of like side characters that are really good and like that people care about, but I think the only thing they get stuck on, and I think this is why they've done so bad, is because like they have Superman. Like, I genuinely think to keep your franchise big, you got to keep Superman in like the back burner. Like, keep him almost as far back as possible and build all these other characters and have Superman like,
because they're more
last. Yeah, like more like once you add Superman to the mix, now the villain has to be like impossibly good, because everyone's mind's gonna be going like, well, isn't Superman supposed to be able to do this? And I guess they do have more impossible like character like Flash. Flash is like extremely strong, so like I feel like that kind of ruins like the writer's abilities, because like all the Marvel characters except Miss Marvel now are like very human. And then Miss Marvel goes to another planet after like she's done her fight. Like she's like, oh, I gotta save these other planets. So now
Yeah.
you can have your main stories without, oh, why doesn't Miss Marvel beat this guy in like 5 seconds and then like go back to
Yeah,
whatever?
and then I'm pretty sure like what they could do is also like after they poach these people, they could just say, "Now we've already seen Marvel do its thing.
Yeah,
Now let's try to like create our own thing, but we will watch them in terms of where they made mistakes and where we can learn from." Then they would just build on that, like, "Oh, you guys made a mistake here for this writing. Why'd you guys do that? Like,
yeah,
what did you,
makes the most
what were
sense.
you expecting, and like what was the issue?" And then you learn off that. You've already poached these writers. Now you're making something better. Maybe it's slower. Maybe it's a different storyline. But you're learning, and you'll do everything better because you're not only are you learning from them, but you're learning from their mistakes, and you have their writers.
Do you think the reason why they don't do good is because they don't focus on like the individual? Like, do you think they focus on the big picture too much?
Yeah.
You think so? Because I think that's what it is. Because like,
They don't build anything.
yeah, they don't. Yeah, I think that's, you're 100% right. Like, I can't even add on to that. Like, that's just it. Like, they just like, we want to build the Justice League, or we want the Justice League, and then we drop one or two movies and like Justice League,
Yeah.
and instead of like, we want to have like Batman to be super sick. We want you to like hit this character and like this character and stuff like that.
I assume they're like their work structure is similar to like how yours is, or at least from what you say.
Yeah,
Like they don't trust who's working underneath them, so they don't like Disney. All they do is anything they want to talk about.
yeah,
They talk to Kevin Feige and like the Disney like the top staff, right?
yeah.
The top staff puts it on Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige figures it
Oh,
out by putting on his staff below him, like his
yeah,
producers, writers and directors combination, and then that's when in terms of actors. So it's like a system where it's like delegated responsibility is delegated. Well,
yeah.
I'm assuming Warner Brothers like top tier. They're just like Marvel made this much money off of Avengers movies, and we don't even have our Justice League assembled. We need a Justice League movie right now, and then they put out the money. They tell, oh, you need to make a Justice League movie, so
Yeah,
they just go out and make a Justice League movie, and then it's not like nothing consistent.
that makes sense. I don't know. We'll
That
see.
that's pretty much it for me in terms of Marvel Phase 4. I know we talked a lot about DC, but just had to be done. This was a longer episode than I expected.
To be honest, you know what? I expected it to be long because it was more like open. We could discuss anything, right? So I was like, oh, when he said it was short, I was like, in my mind, I was saying, I think it'll be long because we get to like freely talk more.
It was long, but that pretty much wraps it up. Just let us know what you guys are looking forward to. If you agree with Ridwan in terms of what he's looking forward to, what he thinks is gonna be sick, or me, or you have your own thoughts. If you heard any rumors or something, leave them in the comments. No spoilers, please and thank you. But yeah, you have anything else?
Nope, that's everything.
You can catch the video, one video over here, one above me, and then the subscribe button's right in the middle. But yeah, we're out. Peace.
Easy, guys.